Hey folks, Eric Stacklebeck here. Welcome to a special Watchman Newscast update. We're going kind of down and dirty here, just coming to you from my phone because I wanted to bring you the latest details on that Israeli drone strike against a carload of Hezbollah terrorists last week near the Syria-Lebanon border. Now, I promised you on our April 16th Watchman Newscast right here on YouTube, you can go back and look at our archives. I promised that if there were any new developments on this major story, I would come to you with an update. Well, here we are. We had some major developments in this story over the weekend. Some new details emerged. Number one, the occupants of this, I'm calling it the Hezbollah terror car with tinted windows and no license plates, that was traveling again from Syria into Lebanon, Hezbollah country, right near the Israel border along the Golan Heights. It was taken out by a drone missile strike. There were a few occupants of the car. Last week when we came to you on the newscast, we weren't sure if they were killed, if they lived. What we did know is that the car was most certainly destroyed. You can see the pictures on last week's newscast. But now we know that the occupants of the car, I think four, Hezbollah terrorists, are alive. They escaped the car unscathed, reportedly. Now, the Israeli drone fired two missiles. The first missed the car, and like rats scurrying off the ship, these terrorists exited the car and retreated and ran for their lives. The second missile did strike. It obliterated the car. Now, what some analysts are saying is perhaps the real target inside the car was not necessarily the Hezbollah terrorist, but a piece of equipment in the car. Maybe Hezbollah was transporting a very dangerous piece of cargo from Syria into southern Lebanon, where Hezbollah lives and breathes. What could it have been? Possibly something related to that precision-guided munitions program. Now, again, we talked about this on the April 14th and April 16th editions of the newscast. Check them out from last week in the archives. We talked about this growing danger of precision-guided munitions, PGMs for short, being supplied by Iran to the likes of Hezbollah. Now, what precision-guided munitions do? Pretty much exactly what their name says. They are precision-guided, meaning they have excellent accuracy. If these fell into the hands of Hezbollah or Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad in large quantities, or, by the way, Iraqi Shia militias who are surrounding U.S. forces right now in Iraq, it could be a major game changer, again, because it's all about the accuracy. Right now, maybe in some cases, Hezbollah, Hamas obviously don't have the greatest accuracy on those rockets, but if they get precision-guided munitions, they'll have extremely excellent accuracy and be able to strike high-value targets in Israel, in Saudi Arabia, in other nations against U.S. forces in Iraq with high efficiency. Folks, that is a very dangerous thing. It's a red line for Israel. They've made that very clear. So perhaps inside this car, this terror car that was transporting Hezbollah operatives from Syria into Lebanon, perhaps there was a deadly piece of cargo relating to that precision-guided munitions program. The other interesting aspect of this strike last Wednesday, again, it happened on Wednesday, April 15th, near the Israel border, near the Syria-Lebanon-Israel border, kind of where they all meet. The other interesting aspect of that was that one of the occupants of the car was a senior Hezbollah commander named Mustafa Mughniyeh. Now, for those of you who follow the Middle East, follow world affairs, follow kind of the war on terror over the past 19 years or so, the name Mughniyeh probably rings a bell. Mustafa Mughniyeh is the son of Imad Mughniyeh. Imad Mughniyeh, and I don't say this lightly, folks, is one of the most notorious terrorists who ever lived. He lives no more, by the way. He was taken out in Syria in February 2008, by what is believed to be a joint Mossad CIA operation. He was taken out February 2008, so he's been gone for over 12 years now. And hey, this guy we talked about Qasem Soleimani being the arch terrorist. He was taken out as well in early January, of course, this year. Soleimani and Mughniyeh were good buddies. That's really all you need to know. Imad Mughniyeh had a trail of terror stretching back 2 or 3 decades, really, involved in the Marine barracks bombing, which killed 243 brave U.S. soldiers in 1983. He was involved in the planning of that. of kidnappings, of hijackings, suicide bombings, terror attacks around the world, terror attacks against Israeli embassies and Israeli community center in South America, 2 separate attacks, deadly attacks back in the early 90s. Mugneya was behind all of this, worked very closely with the Iranian regime and Soleimani, so he was taken out, thankfully, back in February 2008. But the terror legacy, the sins of the father, have been passed down to the sons because they have picked up the baton and they have carried on, unfortunately, his terror legacy. Now, Mustafa Mugneya escaped, apparently, this drone strike last Wednesday, April 15th. But another Mugneya son was not so lucky. Back in January 2015, prepare yourself, Jihad Mugneya, not a very ironic name. Jihad Mugneya, his life was devoted to jihad. He was taken out in an Israeli strike, a helicopter strike on the Golan Heights. Jihad Mugneya was traveling there, this is again back in January 2015, with other Hezbollah operatives and some members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps on the Golan, right near the Israel border. They were taken out. They were killed. Now, Hezbollah retaliated to that attack with some strikes against Israel in northern Israel that killed 2 IDF soldiers. Will they retaliate this time to this latest strike, which was well-deserved and preemptive and wise by the IDF to prevent, obviously, dangerous cargo that would be used to murder and maim Israeli soldiers and civilians? The Israel Defense Forces wisely took that out before that threat could metastasize. Does Hezbollah retaliate this time? Who knows? We'll see. Things have been heating up big time along the northern border lately. And on Friday, just a few days ago, as this weekend was kicking off, apparently there was an attempted breach of the Lebanon-Israel border in 3 separate spots along the border. There were signs that someone tried to breach the border. Now, thankfully, no one, the Israel Defense Forces are saying, no one infiltrated Israel. I mean, put 2 and 2 together, folks. Southern Lebanon along that border area. I have been there many times. I've reported from that border. I've done full Watchman programs from that border where literally, hey, you look out and Hezbollah is staring back at you. You can't see them in most cases, but they are there and they are watching. And the homes, and it's a beautiful area, by the way. It's, oh gosh, mountainous, hilly, green. It's beautiful. Communities like Metula in northern Israel are some of the most beautiful places in the world, I believe. And you look out into southern Lebanon, you're standing on the border fence, and all looks so peaceful and tranquil. But beneath all the calm and the peaceful veneer, Hezbollah lurks. They are literally placing rockets inside homes in southern Lebanon. In people's living rooms, they are there. That's what they're doing. They've commandeered and hijacked communities, homes throughout southern Lebanon along the Israel border to use them as weapons depot. And in a day that's coming, they'll probably use these families, sadly, as human shields. In this coming major conflict, we've been calling it the Great Northern War here on the Newscast. It is coming eventually. So that's what Hezbollah is up to in southern Lebanon. So reports of a attempted breach along the border are no surprise. Also keep in mind, in December 2018, Israel announced the uncovering, the exposure of a network of Hezbollah terror tunnels coming from southern Lebanon under the border fence into northern Israel near communities like Metula. We see what Hamas has done with those terror tunnels down south coming out of Gaza into southern Israel. Hezbollah, folks, is much more advanced than Hamas. Hamas, very dangerous, not minimizing their threat, but Hezbollah is a different beast. They're on another level with their capabilities. So to see that they also had a terror tunnel network, thankfully it was exposed, but their plan in this future conflict that's coming is not only to rain rockets down and missiles, precision-guided missiles if they have their way, on Israel, but also, and Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, the Hezbollah leader, has talked about this, they would like to infiltrate Israel on the ground in northern Israel. Think about it, folks. If, say, they were able to hold an Israeli town for even 5 minutes, plant the Hezbollah flag, and beam those images around the world, it would be a propaganda coup for them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Israel is very well prepared for it, but certainly these are the intentions of Hezbollah. It's not me saying it. It's coming out of their own mouths. Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah and other Hezbollah leaders have said this, talked about conquering the Galilee in the next engagement. So this is what's going on right now. Wanted to give you this very important update because, what seems like a small incident, hey, there was a drone strike or there was an attempted breach along the border. What seems like maybe a small incident to some, the northern border is such a powder keg right now that anything could spark a major conflict, especially I have concerns during the coronavirus crisis that Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, etc., even North Korea, China, Russia, Turkey are going to try to test the waters here, folks. The world's worst actors are going to possibly, God forbid, we hope not, but it's not outside the realm of possibility, let's say, that they could probe a bit and test the waters and see what they can get away with while the West is largely distracted by the coronavirus. Let's pray that is not the case. Coming up on Tuesday's newscast, April 21st, we will have an Israel Defense Forces spokesman, Jonathan Conricus. He'll give us an excellent update on the security threats Israel is facing right now. Because again, Israel, wow, they have to be concerned about coronavirus, obviously, and they've received high marks has the Israeli government for the way, and the Israeli military for the way they are handling coronavirus right now. They've been on top of it, ahead of the curve, and done a great job with it. But they also have to always, as the IDF is doing more humanitarian assistance right now due to coronavirus, they also have to keep their eye on the ball to the north, to the south, to the east. It never ends for Israel. They always have to be on war footing, yes, even during a global pandemic. So IDF spokesman Jonathan Conricus will join us on the April 21st, that's Tuesday, April 21st newscast, with an update on everything that the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, are doing to not only fight coronavirus, but to prepare for the enemies at the gates. And folks, they are there. So we'll keep an eye on this. If anything breaks between now and Tuesday, certainly we will come back with a breaking update right here on the newscast. If you have not subscribed, we'd love you to subscribe. Just click the subscribe button. Also, click the notification button so you get alerts every time a new video is posted here on the newscast, either the Watchman newscast, which is every Tuesday and Thursday, plus some breaking updates like we're giving you right now. Sometimes we are more than twice a week, but also all of the videos from the Watchman television show are posted right here. It's every Friday, right now, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on TBN. And Sunday nights, today's Sunday, tune in tonight, Sunday nights, 12:30 a.m. Eastern time, here in America at least. I know we have viewers around the world, but 12:30 a.m. Eastern on the Fox Business Network. That's tonight, Sunday, April 19th. I'm losing track. Every day is blurring into the next as we're all sheltering in place. But hey, we are keeping busy. We're bringing you these cutting edge breaking reports that you just won't see anywhere else, folks. So thank you for joining in. Be sure to join us Tuesday, April 21st. Until then, hang in there. I'm continuing to pray Psalm 91 over all of you, all of your families as we go through this coronavirus crisis together. God bless you. Until next time, remember, never hold your peace. See you soon.